What's up, YouTube? I literally just woke up. I had just took a 4-hour nap, surprisingly uninterrupted, really. Right now it's 4:15 in the morning. If you're new to the channel, please just hit that subscribe button. And if you've been here, just please hit that like button, as it helps out with the algorithm of YouTube. Today's topic, man, I was kind of running out of ideas for videos, but then I figured to talk about basically, my salary as a respiratory therapist. 2 years in the game, mind you. Excuse me. So when I first graduated, and this is pretty much everywhere, they kind of give you the low ball at the end of the spectrum, because I know some respiratory therapists can make like $25 an hour all the way to like 60 something, top of my head. You can look on Google if you don't believe my numbers, but it also just depends on where you live, and if you're near a city or if you're in a rural area, things like that. So I started, hell, even before respiratory, when I was working at Walmart, I started at $9 an hour. And I was making that as a 22-year-old, and I thought I had a pretty good gig going on because I was getting the hours. I was getting 40 hours a week, PTO and things like that. So I thought I was making it, bringing home like $900 checks or something like that. That's not it. So that kind of inspired me to go back to school, get education and something I actually enjoy doing. And that's the first step. You got to figure out what you want to do first. But, after being with Walmart for 5 years, I finally graduated, and I landed my first gig at a very big hospital in my state. And surprisingly, they were paying low. So they started me at, let's see, I got my trusty paper right here. They started me at $27 an hour. And, I always try to look for full-time positions. So full-time positions when you're a healthcare worker, depending on what type of healthcare worker, for respiratory therapists, it's 12-hour shifts. And when you're working at night, you get pretty good shift differential. So if I was making like 27, I don't remember exactly what it was. It could have been like $3 or $4 extra added onto that. So I didn't have my RRT at the time. I was a CRT when I was at this job, and they offered me 27. Then when I got my RRT, they only gave me $29. So I necessarily didn't think that was really worth it. So I decided to do some research on how I can up my pay as a respiratory therapist. But like I said, a lot of people look at the experience and they look at, your experience, how long you've been doing it, what areas you've been practicing, things like that. So I'm still in the same state. Just found another job because I job hunt to see what pays the most. At this particular job, they offered me $33 an hour. Same thing. I wouldn't say, I don't think it wasn't full time, it was PRN. And when you're PRN, you don't necessarily get benefits. You just get, your pay and then go. And then some jobs will give you like a 401k or 403b retirement plan, things like that. So I was making 33 at this gig. I'd say I only been at that job for about, let's see, like 6 months. And then I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. Then I found another job where they started me out at $34.24, and I thought that was a pretty good gig to have, and full-time position, things like that. So you're getting health care benefits, all that jazz. And I still stay at this position, and we get yearly raises. the other jobs necessarily weren't giving yearly raises for some reason, so I decided to just hop around still. But I still had that full-time job. And then with this new gig that I just recently got a couple days ago, they're offering me a pretty high hourly rate, and I'm forever grateful to have it. It's a 148 bed facility. It's mainly run by a bunch of nurses. It's basically a nursing home, and they were throwing a whopping $37 at me, and I have the skills and everything to show that I'm worth that. But I mean, I've been trying to get to the 40s for a good minute. $40 and whatever change a minute. And there's an incentive to work at this hospital or work at this facility. They said if I continue to study for my adult critical care specialty, I can add that to my my job portfolio or whatever they call it, and possibly get a raise. So that's definitely worth it in my opinion. And the same thing with this facility. They have shift differentials. So if they're starting me out at $37, I don't have the paper saying what the shift differentials were, but 37, that's pretty good. That's especially for me to pay off the house fast and, you know, build up my emergency savings. And you know, that company that I, like I said, recently just got with, everyone's very friendly. It's not necessarily always about the money, but there's a lot of people close to my age that work here. Everyone's friendly, even the residents. And when I mean residents, I'm talking about like the patients. They're pretty friendly too, extremely friendly. And I see some of these patients that are in this facility that were at the hospital I work at the other day, and they don't remember me, but I remember them. So, but like I said, I mean, when you're a respiratory therapist, you're not necessarily limited to being in a hospital. You just have to look. There is plenty of spectrums you can go out to. If you wanted to go to the Army as a respiratory therapist, you can. If you want to be a flight respiratory therapist, you can. If you want to be specifically baby, like a baby neonatal pediatric respiratory therapist, you can. You want to work with just adults, you can. You want to do PFTs, you can. You want to be a cath lab respiratory therapist, you can. Like, you just have to look. You can't just be limited to just, being in the hospitals. You could be an educator, You could be a sleep study respiratory therapist. There's literally a whole spectrum of what you want to do, and you can be days, you can be nights. But whenever you're graduating, a lot of people don't like working nighttime. But I feel like you make the most money whenever you do work nighttime, obviously, because you're getting the shift differential. If you're working on days, I don't know if there is shift differentials for days, but I mean, it's more on nights. And then when you work on weekends, you get the most too. So, I mean, that's kind of the purpose of, evaluating where you work, where you live, what facilities are in the area, what's a union, what's a non-union, things like that, and you just have to go from there. And for all the new grads who watch my videos and anybody who's even interested in being a respiratory therapist, it's possible, man. It really is. You just have to set aside time to do what you need to do and study, do good on your board exams, and make money and help people feel better. I currently work 3 jobs now, and I make 6 figures. I'm blessed to be, where I am and what I do. And I originally wanted to do travel, but this worked out in my favor perfectly. The workloads aren't bad. You don't have any doctors who are just weird, like cocky and whatever. Nurses, perfect. Pretty ladies, I have no complaints. It's just gotta, especially in today's market, you gotta put forth the effort to find things that actually benefit you. Can't be just limited to all respiratory therapists work in a hospital. I met a respiratory therapist who was like that. She was just miserable to begin with. I remember she was trying to deter me to not be a respiratory therapist and continue to work at Walmart and just move up the ladder. I was like, that makes entirely no sense for me to even do. And I think she lost her job thinking about it. But that was a couple years ago. But I remember her telling me that, and I went back to school during the time of COVID, and going to school, since respiratory therapists were needed, the government passed like a law or a bill or whatever it's called that allows a need career. That's what it means. That's what they called it, a in-need career, and they'll pay for like your tuition, your books, and things like that. So I took advantage of it. I went back to school during COVID, and it, bad times. I mean, it was a blessing in disguise, really. Working, and people ask me how I work 3 jobs. It's not hard. It's called time management, and that's what all respiratory therapists need to begin with: time management. And you don't have to be like me and work 3 jobs. You could work 1 and still make it. I mean, you can. I don't know if where you live or whatever in today's market, and things like that. But I mean, inflation's a thing. Now you can make 6 figures if you work 2 jobs, but I just decided to do 3 because I'm trying to pay off a house faster. I'm trying to build my emergency savings. I'm trying to save up for a new car, or possibly a new car. I've been driving my car for almost 10 years. It's paid off. I ain't got to worry about no payments on it other than insurance and taxes. But, it's good to have money. I'm not saying, I'm just a greedy person or whatever, but having money is nice to have because it kind of alleviates any type of problems that may arise. And like I said, I'm like you're not limited to just being in a hospital. Like there's plenty of opportunities. You just have to look for it. Like how I look up my all these jobs that I've ever had, I've always looked up on Indeed, the company websites, Glassdoor, what else? ZipRecruiter, that's another one, ZipRecruiter. Things like that. And whenever you come up to these I know we're all adults, but whenever you come up to these job interviews, you need to be professional. You need to know that you need to show them that you know what you're doing. When it comes to high flows, PFTs, oxygen therapy, respiratory medications, inhalers, can you educate the patient, blah, 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 things like that. Things that you already should know how to do while you were in clinicals. So you can definitely make that money, man. You just have to go forth and do it. I was telling a buddy the other day, like, he has all these ideas to make money because he's a single dude, and and I told him, it sounds good on paper, but you just need to execute it. So I mean, when it boils down to that, you just have to take time out of your day, take time out of your nights. You're gonna have to lose some sleep, and get to work, reading the books, you know, get back into school, see something that you think you would enjoy doing. And if that's not the case, try to find something, you know, maybe just in the meantime to help you make a little bit more money. And then when you have enough money and you go back into your research on your education again, you'll find what you like to do. I love respiratory. I've been only doing it for 2 years, and I love it. I have no complaints. It's probably the best career coming out of high school. But I didn't come out of high school, but I'm saying if you were coming out of high school, it takes about 2 years, 2 to 4 years, depending on what school you go to. And, you know, you can go out there and start making money. I have been noticing that a lot of places haven't really been requiring bachelors, but they have been requiring the RRT credential because I guess they just want that. But like I said, soon I'm gonna have the RRT adult critical care specialty. So I will get that. So, all right, guys. Well, I rambled on too long, but like I said, I just wanted to make a video about the money I make, starting from $27 all the way to $37, only in the matter of 2 years. So like I said, it's possible. You're not limited to just that one job that you're at that you hate coming to every day. Like, there's plenty of opportunities, you know. Like I said, beginning of the video, I took a 4-hour nap, chilling. Everybody's tucked in their bed. I'm happy. So, see you guys.